When Virginia and Minnesota announced they'd fund November's food stamp benefits using their own resources, it sent a ripple across the country. At a time when the federal government's budget struggles threatened to freeze vital programs like SNAP, 8 states, including Connecticut, Delaware, Kentucky, Louisiana, South Carolina, Colorado, and the 2 early movers, have stepped in to protect millions from uncertainty.
Backhand index pointing right. If this information helped you, don't stop here. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you're always one step ahead. We break down important updates like this clearly so you're never caught off guard. Join our community, stay informed, and take control of your financial future, starting today. Flexed Biceps Calendar.
This move isn't just about numbers on an EBT card. It's about stability for working parents, seniors on fixed incomes, and families already stretched thin. It reflects a quiet kind of leadership, one that prioritizes human need over bureaucratic delay. Each of these states chose action over waiting, signaling that no one should be left wondering whether their next meal is guaranteed. Even as federal funding remains in limbo, the message is clear. Local governments and communities are refusing to let vulnerable households fall through the cracks. These state-level initiatives serve as a powerful reminder that food security isn't optional. It's a shared responsibility. Recipients are encouraged to verify their benefits through official state channels, keep applications updated, and make use of community support networks like food banks and nonprofit programs. Help is still available, and it's meant to preserve dignity, not diminish it. In a moment when national systems waver, these 8 states are proving that resilience begins at home, and that no one should feel ashamed for seeking the support they've rightfully earned. While Washington stumbles through another round of budget dysfunction, 8 states have stepped up to do what the federal government seems incapable of, delivering essential support to the people who need it most. In the face of federal gridlock and the looming threat of a government shutdown, 8 U.S. states have confirmed they will continue issuing food stamp benefits this November, regardless of what happens in D.C. The states standing tall are Virginia, Connecticut, Delaware, Kentucky, Louisiana, South Carolina, Colorado, and Minnesota. Each of these states has chosen to act, not wait. They've either redirected state funds, launched emergency aid programs, or partnered with local food banks to make sure families aren't left hungry while politicians fight over funding bills. This is not just a policy update, it's a lifeline. Because let's be clear, SNAP isn't optional. It's not a luxury. It's how over 42 million Americans, including working parents, seniors on fixed incomes, and children, put food on the table every single day. And when federal funding is thrown into chaos, SNAP is one of the first programs on the chopping block. We've seen this before. Budget crises in Washington threatening to delay or halt benefits. Government shutdowns don't just inconvenience politicians, they devastate the most vulnerable. But these 8 states aren't waiting for Congress to get its act together. They're taking matters into their own hands to protect their people. If you're a SNAP recipient, or if you know someone who is, you need to act now. While October benefits will remain on your EBT card if unused, the concern is whether November benefits will arrive on time if the federal impasse continues. For those in the 8 proactive states, there's some reassurance. Your state is moving to protect you. But even then, it's critical that you check your status, confirm your eligibility, and stay up to date with your state's Department of Human Services or local SNAP office. These benefits don't just appear automatically. And in moments like this, every day counts. Confirm that your application is up to date. Make sure your documentation is current. If your benefits are pending, don't wait. Reach out now. Because even in states that have stepped up, there could be delays, bottlenecks, or changes to how benefits are distributed. And in the remaining states, where no such commitment has been made yet, the uncertainty is even more urgent. It's not enough to assume things will continue as usual. You must confirm directly with your state's SNAP resources. And if you're not in one of these 8 states, that doesn't mean you're out of options. This is where community support networks become critical. Food banks, religious groups, local nonprofits. These organizations are stepping up when government systems falter. They exist for moments exactly like this one. Make no mistake, there is no shame in seeking help. In fact, seeking help is an act of strength. It's how you protect your family. And if you need immediate assistance, you can dial 211 in most states to get connected to local resources, food banks, and support organizations. There's a powerful truth buried in this crisis. While federal systems may crack under pressure, local governments and communities are proving they still work. These 8 states are showing what leadership looks like. They're not waiting for permission. They're not waiting for partisan games to end. They're acting decisively, compassionately, and practically. And that action is saving lives. This entire situation underscores a deeper issue: our dependence on federal systems that can be disrupted at any moment. SNAP, like many social safety nets, is federally funded and state-administered. When Congress can't pass a budget or the government shuts down, the funding pipeline breaks. It's like running a family business and suddenly losing your income stream. The workers don't get paid, operations grind to a halt, and chaos follows. That's what happens during shutdowns. Except instead of missing a paycheck, millions of Americans risk missing meals. But there is a small safety valve. The benefits already loaded onto EBT cards remain active. That means any funds you haven't used from October can still help you into November. It's not a perfect solution. It doesn't replace full funding. But it's a bridge, however shaky. Still, this crisis highlights why staying informed is absolutely essential. Things are moving fast. Policies are shifting. And misinformation spreads even faster. Don't rely on rumors or random posts on social media. Visit your state's official websites. Call your SNAP office. Email if you can't get through. Keep pushing until you get answers. Even if your state is one of the 8 continuing benefits, knowing the details matters. Will the distribution date change? Are there emergency food programs launching in parallel? Is your local food bank increasing hours or support levels? These aren't hypothetical questions. They're urgent, real-time decisions. This is also the time to think long-term. If you haven't recently updated your application, do it now. If you're due for recertification, don't delay. If you're applying for the first time, the process can take time, so start immediately. The sooner you're in the system and verified, the more likely you are to avoid gaps in support. And again, don't overlook the role of community organizations. In moments of federal instability, nonprofits become frontline responders. They fill the gaps. They step up. They deliver. From meals to groceries, from baby formula to essentials. These are the networks keeping families afloat. They don't ask why you need help. They don't judge. They serve. So use them. The bottom line is this: no one should go hungry because of political dysfunction. Not when there are tools, support networks, and proactive states working to keep people fed. But those systems only work if people engage with them. Check your benefits. Update your paperwork. Call your local SNAP office. Visit your state's Department of Human Services website. Find your nearest food bank. Dial 211 if you're unsure where to start. This isn't just about food, it's about dignity. It's about recognizing that nutrition assistance is a right, not a luxury. That needing help is not a character flaw, but a reality faced by tens of millions of hardworking people across this country. And if you're watching this and you're one of those 42 million Americans relying on SNAP, know this: you are not alone. Your neighbors are with you. Your state might be stepping up. And your community is ready to back you. But you must take action. If you found this information helpful, like the video, leave a comment, and share it with someone who needs to hear this. There's someone out there right now who's confused, scared, and unsure what to do next. Your share might be what gets them the help they need. And if you want to stay updated on critical issues like this, subscribe and turn on notifications. We'll continue breaking down the facts that matter, without spin, without fluff, and always with your well-being front and center. Stay strong. Stay informed. And remember, help is still out there, you just need to reach for it. Let's be blunt. We're living in a time where basic necessities like food are now dependent on whether Congress can do its job. That's the bitter truth. The fact that we're even having to talk about whether families will receive their SNAP benefits in November is a damning indictment of how broken things have become at the federal level. But while dysfunction reigns in D.C., there's a different story unfolding on the ground. 8 states have stepped in to say, "Enough. We will take care of our people." And that action isn't just symbolic. It's the difference between children having breakfast before school or going to class hungry. It's the difference between a senior citizen having a warm meal or skipping dinner because the fridge is empty. Virginia, Connecticut, Delaware, Kentucky, Louisiana, South Carolina, Colorado, and Minnesota. These are the states refusing to let their residents suffer because of political games. They're finding ways to fund SNAP in November, even if federal dollars are tied up. Whether it's through reallocating state resources, launching emergency food aid programs, or expanding partnerships with food banks, these governments are demonstrating what real leadership looks like. This is what it means to govern with compassion. To understand that behind every EBT card is a story. A single mom working 2 jobs, a retired couple stretching Social Security, a kid trying to grow up without knowing what hunger feels like. Let's be clear. This isn't a handout. It's a lifeline. And it exists because food is not optional. And yet, in every other state, the silence is deafening. The uncertainty is real. No clear announcements. No guarantees. Just more questions, more fear. And millions left wondering if their November benefits will come through, or vanish into the chaos of a budget impasse. For anyone relying on SNAP, this means you can't afford to wait. Don't assume anything. Whether you're in one of the 8 supportive states or not, it's on you to take action. And right now that means logging into your state's Department of Human Services website, calling your local SNAP office, checking your application status, confirming that your documents are up to date, finding out when your next benefits will be issued, or if they'll be delayed. And let's talk about the EBT balance. Any unused benefits from October will roll over into November. That means if you've got leftover funds on your card, use them wisely. Budget them carefully. Because until there's clarity on new issuances, that balance might be all you've got for a few extra days or longer. But this isn't just about the technicalities of benefit distribution. It's about the emotional toll this uncertainty takes on millions of families. When you have to worry whether you'll have enough food next week, everything else in life becomes harder. Work becomes harder. School becomes harder. Parenting becomes harder. Health suffers. Stress mounts. And dignity erodes. That's why this moment matters. And that's why every single viewer needs to be proactive. Check your status, follow up, get answers. And if your state hasn't made any announcement, don't panic, but prepare. This is where community resources become essential. If you don't know where your local food bank is, find out today. Most states have food banks operating in major counties and cities, and many have expanded operations in response to this crisis. Some even offer delivery services, mobile distribution points, and special programs for families, seniors, and individuals with disabilities. And if you're struggling to navigate it all, just dial 211. This nationwide helpline can connect you directly to food assistance programs, nonprofits, religious organizations, and community groups offering meals and groceries. What's important is you don't wait until it's too late. There is no shame in seeking help. Let's say it again, there is no shame. The idea that asking for food assistance is something to feel embarrassed about is a harmful myth. Keeps people isolated. Keeps people silent. And it stops them from getting the support they absolutely deserve. The truth is, SNAP recipients are working Americans, retirees, veterans, caregivers, and parents doing the best they can in a system stacked against them. You're not failing. The system is. And let's not forget, this program was created for moments like this. When wages don't keep up. When rent swallows half your income. When medical bills pile up. When school costs crush your budget. SNAP was designed to bridge the gap, not to replace effort, but to reward it with stability. So if you qualify or think you might qualify, don't delay. Start the process. Questions. Follow up. And keep records. This system is slow, and sometimes you'll need to chase your paperwork just to get what's already yours. That's frustrating, but don't give up. Persistence is power. If you're just tuning in and this is the first you're hearing of this, yes, it's real. There is a very real risk that if the federal government shuts down again, SNAP funding could be interrupted. And without state-level action, families could face a break in benefits. That's why these 8 states deserve credit, not for doing something extraordinary, but for doing what should be expected. Supporting food assistance during a budget crisis shouldn't be radical, should be automatic. Yet here we are in 2025, still treating hunger like a political football. And make no mistake, this won't be the last time. As long as federal dysfunction remains a constant, these crises will keep coming. That's why local governments need to start preparing contingency plans. Community organizations need to expand capacity. And individuals like you need to stay informed and engaged. This also means pushing your local leaders to follow the lead of these 8 states. Demand answers. Ask your governor's office. What's the plan if funding stalls? Contact your state representatives. Will our state step up or sit back? Public pressure works. And when thousands speak up, leaders take notice. Meanwhile, for those in Virginia, Connecticut, Delaware, Kentucky, Louisiana, South Carolina, Colorado, and Minnesota, you're not off the hook either. You've got better odds this November, yes, but the process still depends on you being informed and ready. Contact your local offices. Confirm the amount and timeline of your benefits. Find out whether any temporary programs or adjustments are in place. Some states may be staggering distributions. Others might issue supplemental benefits. Don't rely on hearsay. Go straight to the source. Because even in supportive states, systems get overwhelmed. Offices get backlogged. Phone lines jam up. The best way to protect yourself is by being early, prepared, and vocal. Let's recap what you should do today. Check your EBT balance from October. Confirm your eligibility and certification status with your local SNAP office. Visit your state's official Human Services website for benefit updates. Call 211 to connect with food banks and emergency support services. Share this information with anyone in your life who might be affected. And most importantly, don't wait. Don't wait for the federal government to act. Don't wait for your benefits to disappear. Don't wait for your cupboards to run empty. Take action now. We're in a moment where being informed is survival. Where communities must lean on each other. Where every action you take can make a difference for yourself, your family, and your neighbors. Because here's the truth. Nobody deserves to be hungry in this country. Not when there are programs, systems, and people ready to help. And yes, it's maddening that we have to go through this over and over again. But in the face of that chaos, you can still take control. With information, with action, and with community support. Here's the hardest part for so many families right now. You did everything right. You worked, you paid your taxes, you followed the rules. And now you're stuck wondering whether your next food assistance deposit is coming, or if your EBT card will sit empty because a bunch of politicians in Washington can't meet a deadline. This isn't about politics. It's about survival. It's about feeding your kids. It's about making it through one more week without having to choose between groceries and medication, or food and rent. And while the federal government plays chicken with people's lives, 8 states have decided they're not going to sit back and watch their residents starve. That's real leadership. And that's why this video exists, to tell you where help is still available, and what you need to do right now to protect your benefits and your family. So let's be specific again. If you live in Virginia, Connecticut, Delaware, Kentucky, Louisiana, South Carolina, Colorado, or Minnesota, your state has confirmed it is taking action to protect SNAP benefits through November, regardless of federal gridlock. That means you may see your benefits arrive without disruption, but only if your eligibility is current, your paperwork is processed, and your account is in good standing. That's not automatic. You have to be proactive. And let's not sugarcoat it. State systems are overwhelmed. If you haven't already reached out to your local SNAP office, do it now. If the phone line's busy, try the website. If the website's down, go in person if you can. This is your money. This is your access to food. Do not wait. If you're not in one of those 8 states, things are a lot more uncertain. Some states are still figuring out how to respond. Others are silent. That means it's even more important for you to double-check everything. If your benefits come late or don't come at all, You need a plan now, not when your fridge is already empty. And let's be honest, no one should be forced into this kind of fear just to eat. But here we are. And what you do in the next few days could determine how you and your family make it through the next few weeks. Now let's talk about carryover funds. If you didn't use all your October benefits, that balance stays on your card. That's good news. But it's not enough. It's a temporary cushion, not a solution. If new benefits aren't issued, that remaining balance may have to stretch longer than usual. So budget carefully. Plan your meals. Make your groceries last. And if you run short, do not hesitate to reach out to local food banks and nonprofit organizations. Many of them have already ramped up services, anticipating that people will be caught in the middle of this federal mess. There is no shame in it. Food banks exist for this exact reason. They're not charity, they're community. They're part of the safety net. And they're there for you. And again, if you don't know where to start, call 211. It's free. It's confidential. And it connects you directly to food assistance programs, shelter resources, utility help, and more. If you're feeling overwhelmed, 211 is the number to call. We also need to talk about the people who might be watching this and thinking, this doesn't affect me. Does. Whether or not you receive SNAP, the ripple effects are everywhere. When millions of people don't have food, the pressure shifts onto schools, hospitals, churches, food banks, and even neighbors. This is a community issue, not just a government one. So if you know someone who might be affected, share this video with them. Don't assume they're getting the information. Misinformation spreads fast, and clarity is rare. Forward it to your neighbor. Send it to your cousin. Post it in your community group. That small act might be what gets someone the help they need. And if you're someone who's been afraid to apply, thinking you wouldn't qualify or worried what others might think, let's set the record straight. SNAP exists for working people. For families. For those who contribute to society and just need a little help getting through the month. If you meet the income requirements, it's your right to apply. And right now, with uncertainty looming, you should. It's not weakness. It's wisdom. And it's how we take care of each other in times like this. We are not powerless. But we are responsible. For ourselves, for each other, and for spreading accurate, urgent information when the system falls short. So here's what you can do right now. Visit your state's official SNAP website and confirm your benefit status. Contact your local SNAP office to verify your application or recertification. Call 211 for additional support and food bank information. Share this video with others who might be impacted. Subscribe if you want updates on this story and others like it. The system may be broken, but you don't have to go through it alone. We'll keep covering this crisis. We'll keep telling the truth. And we'll keep fighting for the basic dignity that every person deserves. Because no one should go hungry while waiting for Congress to do its job. Stay safe. Stay informed. Stay ready. And don't give up. Help is still out there, reach for it.